What's up, everybody? This is your spiritual advisor, Montre Bible, and I just want to talk about the Mandela effect. And it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind lately, um, and ever so often I forget about it, and something reminds me of it, or there's another Mandela effect shift, and people start talking about it. It comes in waves. It really does, and I was walking my dog and I was thinking about why it's happening. And why does it happen during certain points? Um, and hold on, let me get my green juice real quick. Gotta wet my whistle. And if you've experienced the Mandela effect, or if you don't know anything about it, that's fine. But a lot of people have been experiencing these changes in reality. And it's more than just movies. The movies that are coming out now are kind of a result of what people or what the collective consciousness has been talking about. And I truly believe we are shifting to a better reality. I've always talked about the Great Divide, the shifting, where I really sense that reality does like this. It goes in and out. And these two branches are two different timelines, you can say. And you have different versions of yourself in those timelines. And you have to choose which avatar or which timeline you want to exist on. And sometimes those timelines are really negative. And sometimes those timelines are optimal, or you have your best life. I can tell you just that one timeline is based on fear. It's based on scarcity. And it wants to survive. It's a part of reality. I mean, where can you go where there isn't, right? Some type of issue. But the timeline for you is a place of abundance. You want to be in a place of abundance. You know, you look at the world, but also you have to look at your inner world and know that you can have whatever you want. And you can manifest what you want. You can have the life that you desire. But there's something outside of you saying that you can't. It could be a old belief, something you were told as a child that says you can't have that, you can't do that, when in reality you can do whatever you want to do. And it takes time to be good at things. It takes time to achieve something. As I say often in videos, it takes 9 months to have a baby. You can't expect something to happen overnight just because you wish it into existence. You've been praying for things, but these things take time. There's 3 periods, as they like to say, the trimester, and it takes about 9. You can't go any higher than 9 before you start over into 0. So that's why it takes 9 months to have a baby. And in numerology, 9 is the highest number, of course, or in single digits. Okay, so you can add numbers and get those prime numbers as well. 11 and 13 are very important. I know I'm just having fluid thought right now, because that's how I talk. I'll just go off on a tangent. But bringing it back about we're shifting into a new timeline. You personally are. And the Mandela effects are to remind you that this reality is fluid. It's moving. And when you align with the optimal timeline, don't be afraid of those changes. Okay? The universe is truly cares. And the universe, God, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call the source, the creator. I like to be very distinct when I say this. The creator just wants to survive, wants to live through you. and in truth lives through all of us. This is a dream of God. The reality is nothing but a dream of God. Sometimes it's a nightmare, sometimes it's a utopia, and a utopia is possible. It is very possible. It's just that society feeds us these negative images and these negative things. I truly believe at one point we had a utopia, free energy. We weren't spending our lives trying to pay for food, rent, and electricity because these things were free. And we spent time on art and music and creating things and creating architecture. That's why we have all these great buildings. And we had good health. I truly believe in a time where we didn't die at 70. If you look at the Bible, they say people were living for hundreds of years. But what is science? Oh, they only lived to 40 and then they died. And I'm thinking that's probably not true. In the ancient world, in the Bible, it says that people were living hundreds of years. What was it, Lamech? Methuselah was the oldest. You always have jokes about Methuselah. But Noah's father lived 777 years, which is really interesting on how that number shows up. I truly believe those people were living hundreds of years. And how we envision the people of the Bible, we always envision these nomads in tents. Every time you think of biblical characters, you think nomads in tents traveling around. But I believe that reality was a little bit different than that. Everything in history we've been told it is a lie. And then, or it's told backwards, because this is a very occultic world that we live in right now. History is backwards. Everything we've been told. I wouldn't trust anything from school, historically. Because just check out videos about Tartaria. I may put some links if I can find it. I think I have some in favorites. Tartaria, the mud floods. Everything is about a great deluge. And I keep hearing about floods. What if the flood wasn't that long ago? Like Noah's flood. What if it wasn't that long ago? That's a wild theory, and I'm just putting it out there, but I'm just thinking about it. I have these little random thoughts. So, if that was true, where did all these... it blows my mind. When I watch the Tartaria videos, and they talk about all these ancient buildings, and then we look at the ancient pyramids, not just in Egypt, but all over the world. They're in South America, they're in China. There's quiet as it's kept. They say there's a pyramid in the United States, and that's why they don't let people like hike everywhere, because it's like deep somewhere. That's just something I've heard. I can't say if it's true or not. Then they found pyramids in Antarctica. What? Who built all these pyramids? And a lot of times, even with the pyramids and the ancient buildings here in the States, they're always like, oh, prisoners built them, slaves built them. But no, this stuff is too perfect, too intricate to just say, oh, just some slaves built it. These people had technology that we don't know of, because we can't even replicate that in our lifetime. And that's what I'm saying. These people lived hundreds of years, because you're going to need that much time. But still, what kind of technology did they have? Like, for real. That's what I'm saying, is that anything is possible. Don't let the way this world is, this current world, is make you believe that you can't have the world or go into a world or shift into a world where utopia is possible, because it is. The past shows us and it just repeats itself. But I truly believe you have to be on that timeline to even get back to that place, because it's a loop. And there's a negative timeline too that's like the one we're on probably. And what I was seeing is a great divide, like people splitting off into two different worlds that seem to live right next to each other. But as a wave does, you won't be able to be conscious of the negative world anymore. You'll be cut off from it, but don't worry about that. So when I made a video and I said, don't be afraid about people you lose that may not be on the same timeline as you, don't worry about it, because you're literally getting cut off from that world. But guess what? There's a lot of other people too that are getting cut off from that world. And what's going to happen? All these people are going to come together and create the world that they want. Okay, so just remember that. People are like, oh man, what was it like during the pandemic? People are like, oh man, I'm going to lose my job. Then lose it. Lose it. Stand up for something. And those people that lost their job, they found something new. You're not going to be unemployed forever. Lose a friend. Let them go. You'll find a new one. Life comes in cycles, and then we come back around. And that's the truth. That's the reality of it. So anyways, I was just having these deep morning thoughts, and I have to get these out. And what the creator was telling me is like, get these thoughts out your head. So this is why I'm making these videos, because I spend a lot of time, I work from home, and I spend a lot of time just in my head. And I just need an avenue. Whether people watch the video or not, it doesn't matter. But I sure do appreciate it if you go ahead and like and subscribe. Anyways, I say all that to say is don't forget to create your reality. Believe in the impossible and make your reality happen. Because if you don't, who will?